Hello, welcome to my channel. If you have found me, then congrats, you're pregnant. I'm here just to share my workouts through my second pregnancy with you, starting in my second trimester. 2, 3. Be soft. Welcome to workout number 1. We're mostly going to be starting with stretching today. This is the first workout I did when I got back into exercising. So we're just going to start with the soles of our feet together. We're going to start by just taking some belly breaths. So learning to take breaths with our diaphragm or taking belly breaths can help us coordinate with the pelvic floor and the deep abdominal muscles, which is important for recovery after we have our babies. So open your knees down towards the floor just as much as you can. You may want to start with a big breath in and sigh as you let the knees drop out, keeping the soles of your feet together. Now, in this position, try to make sure you're as comfortable as you can be. So if this is too much, pull off a little bit and get into a position where you feel comfortable. Now, imagine you're drawing air down in through your nose and in to your abdomen, and last through your chest. Now, as you draw air in to your abdomen this time, imagine that you're pulling the air into your pelvic floor. So you're going to start all the way at the bottom, slightly lifting the pelvic floor. And exhale. We're going to try 10 of these together. Drawing into the pelvic floor, gently lifting, and then exhaling as we let all the air out. Let's focus on 3-second breaths. 3 seconds in and 3 seconds out. Keep on drawing that air into your belly. You should feel your belly expand before your chest rises. And as you exhale, the pelvic floor relaxes. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. I think we have 4 more here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. Okay, now that we've opened the hips and practiced our belly breaths, we're going to start by stretching the spine. Now you're going to need your foam roller for this one. Okay, you take the foam roller and you're going to place it right between your shoulder blades. Now I am going on 15 weeks now, and I'm still very comfortable laying on my back, but for some of you, these might be best for first trimester exercises. Okay, now you can be on your back for as long as you're comfortable. Eventually, the weight of the placenta will compress some of the vascular organs inside your body, and it will make you feel dizzy when you lay on your back. So then it's no longer good. But if you're still comfortable, I encourage you to continue to do exercises on your back as long as you're able to. So knees bent, roll between the shoulder blades, hands behind the head. Now, without flaring the rib cage and getting a big back arch, you're going to keep the rib cage down and just focus on stretching the upper back. Exhale as you lean back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. This is a really good one for preparing for the mom posture. Let's keep going with 5 more of these. I was shocked by how much neck pain and back pain I had as a new mom. I always had wonderful posture. But with my first, I thought, my goodness, how does anybody do this without becoming a hunchback? This one right here. Let's keep doing this so we don't lose it. 2 more. Exhale into the stretch. It helps you really relax into it. Exhale into the stretch. You might get some cracks out of that one too. Let's hope you do. You could always give it a little roll as well. And there I go. All right. So you're going to either take a roll or you can take the yoga block. I'm going to use a yoga block. Yoga block between the knees. Now we're going to do another chest opener here. Okay. Laying on your side. Give myself a little pillow with another yoga block here. Laying on your side with your hands together. You're going to inhale when you begin, drawing out into your belly, and then lift your head and your gaze to follow your hand as you exhale. Now I've got this block between my knees so that this doesn't happen. I'm not doing this. We don't want to roll with the stretch. Make sure you can still hear me. You don't want to roll with the stretch. So you're going to exhale, lift as far back as you can, turning your head towards your hand. Inhale, bring it back to center. So we're going to continue doing the same thing. If you need to lock it up a little tighter, I brought my knees up a little higher. That's going to help you to lock up the low back a bit more. Hands together. Exhale. We're going to do about a 3 to 5 second hold at the end there. If you feel a particular tightness releasing, you can continue to hold into that stretch. All right, inhale. Exhale. I've got a beautiful breeze here. I'm breathing with the wind. Exhale. Now I'm getting down to the ground. You might already be there, but it can take a while to get into the stretch. The more repetitions you do, the farther into the stretch you'll get. Make sure you try to squeeze that block so you're not rolling back. Here comes 6. Inhale, don't forget to breathe. Exhaling into the stretch will help you relax your arm farther towards the ground. All right, do 2 more with me here. Inhale. Exhale. All right, don't worry if you didn't make it all the way down to the ground. Maybe you'll make it on the other side. Everybody's got one tighter side. Oh, all right. We've got windy day here. Okay. So next we're going to do the other side. Even it out. So same idea here. Make sure you can still hear me. Hands together. Inhale into the belly. Exhale. And I've got stuff behind me here. I'm going to move a little bit. 1. Inhale. Exhale. If you need to, you can keep that yoga block between the knees on the side as well. I'm gonna go no yoga block. I'm a little more flexible on this side. You should feel your chest opening up through here as you stretch downwards towards the ground. Okay, good. Exhale. Another option, if you don't have a yoga block, you could take this bottom arm, simply hold on to the top knee here. That actually feels a lot better to me. Exhale. That's feeling pretty good right about now. Let's do 3 more together. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time. Exhale. And inhale. Now take a breather here. Find a position that's most comfortable to you. I like this feet together, knees open position for resting between sets. Okay, now we're going to do a bit of work on the hips. So we're going to start with an exercise called side lying hip abduction, basically side leg lifts. Now you're just going to lay on your side. You can prop up on your elbow if you like. And the idea here is to bring your top leg back at a 45-degree angle. So what you're trying to do here is to target the side butt, so to speak. So your hip abductors are very important, especially during pregnancy as your pelvis widens. Keeping these strong helps to reduce back pain and knee pain. So we're going to start feet together, knees together. If you need to, or if your back feels uncomfortable, you can bend the bottom knee. That feels good to you. But either way, you're going to lift your leg up and back at an angle with your feet pointed forward. So be careful not to point the feet out or way back in. Just straight forward and then back down. Now, you should be feeling the side butt. You'll know where I mean if you feel it. If you don't, and you're feeling the front of the leg, that's because your leg is moving forward. So, very specifically, you want to move the leg back at about 45 degrees. Okay. Now, if it helps, place your hand on your hip. The benefits of working out outside, or there's just bugs all over you. So place your hand on your hip to keep your belly button pointed towards the ground and prevent your hips from rolling back as you lift your leg. So this will be your marker. Okay. Now that you know the task, let's do 10 of them together. If you can't get to 10, stop when you feel fatigued. This is a tough exercise. If you can do more than 10 right off the bat, you may not be doing it correctly, so slow the exercise down. Let's lift over 1 second, hold 1 second, and then bring it down 1, 2. Okay. 1 lift, 1 hold, 1, 2. Here comes 3. 1 lift, 1 hold, 1, 2. 1 lift, 1 hold, 1, 2. 1 lift, 1 hold, 1, 2. Here comes 6. Halfway there. 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll tell you what, I got a good burn out of that. All right, let's switch sides. Same thing on the other side. Okay, if you propped up on your elbow last time, you can do that again. If you bent your knee last time, you can do that again. Do whatever feels the most comfortable. Hand on hip for a cue here. Belly button facing down. Top leg up and back at a 45-degree angle. Your goal isn't to go as high as you can, okay? Your hand here will monitor. So if you start to go like this from your back, you're no longer moving your leg. So you're monitoring here to keep everything stable and just lifting the leg. That's as high as it goes if it's just leg for me. Okay, you know the task. We're going to do 10 of them together. Ready? 1 up, 1 hold, 1, 2. 1 up, 1 hold, 1, 2. 3, 4, 5. Count out loud so that you make sure you're breathing. 6, 7. Keeping belly button facing down. 8, 9, make sure that back isn't moving. 10, great. We're going to do one more set on each side. Should be getting a good burn right about now. Now, if you're feeling the bottom leg ricking as well, that's totally normal. All right, I'm going to go bent knee again, hand on hip, leg back at a 45-degree angle, 10 reps. 1 up, 1 hold, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Monitor, make sure you're going back slightly. 8, 9. If you're not feeling this in the side butt and you're feeling it in the front, you got to kick back a little more. 10. Okay, switch sides. Okay, same thing, knee bent, hand on top, 10 reps. 1 up, 1 hold, 1, 2, 2. Count out loud so you're breathing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. Okay. Now, come back to the other side, and we're going to start off in a similar position. The next exercise, also for the hips, called a clamshell. It's going to work a different part of your glutes. So, feet together, knees together. You can be up on your elbow again, just like you were for the last exercise. This is also a tough one where you really want to watch your position. If you are at home for these exercises, you can place your pelvis up against a wall behind you if you have a wall that's empty, just so that it prevents your pelvis from rocking back and forth. It'll put you in the perfect position. So for both of these hip exercises, you can do that if it helps. If not, you can just use hand on hip and make sure your belly button stays facing downwards. Okay, so belly button facing down, knees together, feet together. The clamshell goes like this. Hand on hip, top knee lifts. Now the tendency is going to be to roll the body with that knee, but I want you to use this hand to monitor that. Okay, so we're going to try 10 of them together in that 1, 1, 2 tempo. Okay, 1 lift, 1 hold, 2 down. This feels pretty easy. You can also add a band to it, just for simplicity's sake, and because I started off quite weak as well, I'm going to do no band. If it feels more comfortable, you can also put a hand down here to stabilize you. I'm going to go 3 reps here, 4 reps here, keeping my belly button down, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now again, if you feel the bottom leg going, totally normal. It's working to stabilize you. Should make for a better burn on the other side. So we're going to switch. You can be in that same position again. Elbow propping you up. Knees together, feet together, elbow down. Hand on hip or hand here to stabilize you. Feet together, knees together. 10 reps. 1. Make sure you're breathing. 2. Add the band if this is easy. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you're starting to feel a little wobbly here, pull your abdomen in, tighten through your belly button. 9, 10. Good job. Okay. Now, we do want to do 2 sets on each side. And when you feel that your glutes are, if you don't feel like your glutes are sufficiently tired from that, you can always add a band. You can also add more reps. But if this is your first time doing it and you feel like you can do more than 10, I encourage you to put your pelvis up against the wall because this can be very difficult to do correctly. Okay, we're going to move on to the next exercise because this is very fundamental to all of the exercises that we're going to be doing throughout pregnancy if you're following this program. which is called a posterior pelvic tilt. So throughout pregnancy, because of the shift in our center of gravity, or the center of our weight essentially, because of the shift in our center of gravity, what happens is that we tend to be more forward-headed, more rounded through the shoulders, and we tend to arch more through the back. So throughout your day, try to be conscious of arching through your back so that you're trying to do the exact opposite, which is what I'm going to teach you now, which is the posterior pelvic tilt. Standing in a back arch is an anterior pelvic tilt, which is one of the adaptations of pregnancy. If you feel yourself doing this, slightly soften your knees, which will soften the curve in your back. Most people are standing with their knees locked out into extension. Just soften them slightly, and you'll find yourself in a more neutral back position. Okay, so we're going to talk about the posterior pelvic tilt, and then we're going to turn it into an exercise. Okay, so first, knees bent. Now, an anterior pelvic tilt is this arch. As I mentioned, one of the adaptations of pregnancy is tending to stand in that position. It can cause a lot of back pain. So we create more stability with the posterior pelvic tilt. So that's the first step, is literally just pushing your back down into the surface behind you. If you need to, you can use hands to monitor what your back is doing. You crush your hands with the small of your low back. You'll feel your butt scoop up a little bit, and that's normal. This isn't like a like a max exertion kind of activity, so you shouldn't be like, okay, so let's say 50%, or maybe even 30%. Like they press down into the mat 30%. Okay, you're not doing anything super exertive. And again, like, don't hold your breath. So if you need to, count out loud. Let's try a few 5-second holds, and we'll have you count out loud for them. So practice this one more time. Place your hand on the other side, just beneath the small of your low back, and try to flatten your back by closing that arch between you and the floor. And then relax. Okay, so that's what the posterior pelvic tilt looks like. Wow, my baby is loving this. Okay, this is good. I hope that your baby's enjoying this too. My baby is. Okay, so let's just try a few 5-second holds to get the hang of this exercise, because it's super fundamental, super important to everything we're going to do. Again, my hand is back here under the small of my low back to monitor what's happening. Okay, we're going to do 5-second holds for 5 repetitions. Okay, are we ready? Okay, breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, breathe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope this feels good. Now you can remove your hand if you feel like you don't need it anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't stop breathing. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, you have to stand a lot for work and you find yourself getting back pain. This is a great go-to. You can also do this up against the wall. Just bring your feet a few inches out from the wall. Try to close that gap between you and the wall. And this can be very pain relieving. Okay, so now that you have the pelvic tilt down, or at least we're working on it, we're going to turn it into an exercise. So now, first step of this is the pelvic tilt. I'm going to demonstrate first. Pelvic tilt, and then pressing through the heels, you're going to continue that scoop that your butt naturally is doing by doing the pelvic tilt. Continue it upwards into this bridge that brings your body into this straight line. Now notice, I'm not doing a yoga bridge. So yoga bridge is going to look a lot like spinal extension and has its own benefits. But here during pregnancy, we're going to be more interested in creating stability in the spine because the relaxin makes our ligaments so floppy. We want to create stability. Okay, so we're going to pelvic tilt and lift to bring the body into the straight line. That's the exercise here. Okay, now you're going to do it with me. We're going to do 10 repetitions, 5-second holds. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, pelvic tilt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to use the finger method on the other side, so I know how many repetitions I've done. You can do the same thing if that helps you. Now, if you're feeling it, let's lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're feeling it in the hamstrings, 2 things. You either got to bring your feet in a little bit closer, or you need to stop pushing through your toes. So take your toes off the ground entirely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, making sure you're pushing through your heels. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My baby is loving this. All right, here comes 5, halfway through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't miss the pelvic tilt in the beginning, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more here. You should be feeling this in your glutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knees should be about shoulder width apart. Keep pushing through the heels and keep breathing. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I'm actually going to turn on my side to give myself a break this time. Okay, I hope we could all feel that in our glutes. We're going to do one more set, and then we're going to move on to our last exercise, which is a core exercise. Now, I don't do a lot of targeted core exercise throughout. I tend to focus more on whole body exercises that incorporate the pelvic floor and deep abdominals. But there are some that I really like, so we will be doing some. Okay, if you feel ready, we're going to do our last set of these hip bridges. If these feel pretty easy, you can always pause this and do an extra set. You can also add a band to the knees so that you press outwards throughout the exercise. Okay. All right, remember, if you start feeling it in your hamstrings, you could always drag the knees in to bend them a little bit more. Okay, pelvic tilt, push through the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A beautiful day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Halfway through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a feeling I might have skipped one. If you guys caught that, I'm sorry. But also, you're welcome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do not forget to breathe. Do not forget the pelvic tilt. 2 more with me, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1 more here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Great job. You should, no matter how strong you are, you should have gotten a pretty good burn in your glutes with that. If you didn't, slow it down. Play with positions of your knees. Move them around until you find the place that feels the best for you. And make sure you're squeezing the muscle as you lift. So at the top of the motion, you should be able to squeeze your glutes. If not, you might be in a little bit of a back arch. Okay, so for our last here, we're going to end with a core exercise. So you may have heard that you shouldn't do crunches while you're pregnant. Now, it's not that you shouldn't necessarily do crunches. It's that we want to control something called coning. So when you get this sort of upwards motion of your abdominal muscles and it forms a bit of a cone shape, what you want to try to do is not necessarily just discontinue the exercise, but try to draw your belly button back towards the spine without clearing your ribs. Just draw the whole abdominal wall back, okay? And see if you can prevent the doming by doing that. And if you can't, you might need to move on to an easier exercise because that's now too challenging for your abdominal wall during your pregnancy. Okay, there will come a time for that. But if we're comfortable, I'd like to do this exercise with you called a curl up. Okay, so this is a little more back safe than a crunch. So I tend to prefer it quite a bit to a crunch. 1 leg up, 1 leg down. And again, we're going to do 2 sets on each side, and I'm going to demonstrate first. Okay, so with the curl up, place one hand also beneath the small of your back to monitor and make sure you're not arching the back at all. We want to maintain a good posterior pelvic tilt throughout this, and that'll be key to the success of working the core during this exercise. And of course, breathing throughout. I don't care how you're breathing, just breathe. It'll become more important. It'll become more important later. Okay, but generally, when you're exhaling, you're contracting. So if you want to think about that, that's fine. If not, don't overcomplicate it. Okay, so I'm going to monitor here with a hand on my belly and make sure I don't get any coning, and make sure I'm just pulling my belly away from my hand and down towards the floor. Okay, so I'm going to take my head and neck, lifting at my abdomen. Imagine there's a scale beneath my head and shoulders, and I'm trying to make the scale weigh 0. And down. About a 5-second hold. So that's my first demonstration. We're not beginning quite yet. Things to look out for. If you feel it in your neck, it might be because you're lifting with your chin. So it's not a neck exercise. It's a core exercise. You're lifting through the abdomen. Okay. It's not a neck exercise. So lift from here. Don't initiate the movement from your head. If you need to, you can also put a hand, but you can just support your head and neck. Make sure you can hear me. Okay, let's begin. Hand behind the small of your low back, one knee bent, and we're going to hold for 5 seconds. Let's try 5 repetitions and then check in. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now that felt relatively easy. We can add in a second component, which is a leg lift at the same time. If this felt relatively difficult, work on increasing your time instead. So working up to 10 seconds instead. So we're going to do 5 more repetitions with a leg lift here. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now we're going to switch sides. Okay. Hand beneath the small of the low back. And with or without leg lift, I'm going to go ahead and leg lift. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, keep going. Let's do 5 more. We got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your goal isn't to get as high as you can to the ceiling with your face. A little goes a long way. Okay, 2 more. Hope my counting is on. I'm sure you guys will call me out if it's not. Whew! All right, that felt good. I'm telling you, my baby's liking this workout. I hope your babies are liking this workout. My baby's liking this workout. Take a rest if you need it. We're going to go ahead and switch sides. We're going to do 10 reps on each side, and we're going to finish the workout with a few big breaths. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take special care to keep on drawing that belly button back towards the spine. 2 more reps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If that becomes too difficult, put the leg down. Don't lift it. Last rep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, switch sides. Okay, maintain that draw in abdomen, okay? We can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not confident on my reps anymore, so I'm going to count. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know about you guys, but I don't always count reps. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost there. You got 3 more. Come on. 8, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should suck a little bit. 9, 2, 3, 4, 5. If your neck's feeling like it's getting some work in the upper part of the neck, it's not a bad thing. Just keep the chin down. Make sure it's not coming up. Staying chucked down. It's going to help with that mom posture. We did it. Oh, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you for honoring your body by exercising throughout your pregnancy. All right, we're going to put the soles of our feet together. Get back into that butterfly stretch. Find a comfortable position. We're just going to take 5 big breaths to end. Inhale, lift. Exhale, relax. One more. Inhale, lift the pelvic floor. Exhale, relax. Okay. Thank you for joining me today. You ladies have a great day.